Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Well, we say it every week, Gino. It's our saddest time of the week.
Especially today because we're having so much fun. I mean, and like, you know, we talk about this all the time. We're real. We always talk about things. But today we're letting you into the insight of what happens behind the camera.
Yeah, so thanks for joining the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on AM 1220 KHTS every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can find out more. Of course, go to hometownstation.com or go to donandgino.com. You can also enter the studio by clicking on the live streaming button. But we want to jump into this because we're here with our good friend and our financial advisor for America's Professional Resource Group, for us, our team, so many of us. And we were talking about the election night and how things swung like crazy because of the projected winner didn't win. And when it looked like Trump was going to win, the futures market was off 800 points. Am I right, Chris?
Yep.
Did you get any phone calls?
Couple. Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple. The clients that have my cell phone number.
Right.
Got to remember that.
I'm sorry, this number has been disconnected.
Have you seen Breaking Bad? You need a burner phone.
Right. That was a fun night. As I said before the break, I was calling the other advisor in my office, and we were saying, tomorrow's going to be ugly, and we were kind of consoling each other and jokingly. Well, actually, it was my assistant's husband sent me a text message asking me a couple questions. I said, "Tell your wife I'm not coming in tomorrow. I'm calling in sick," because it looked ugly. I mean, futures were down over 800 points. It looked like it was going to be brutal. And about midnight when I went to bed that night, things just looked ugly. It looked like Trump was going to be the next president. And I was expecting a very rough day the next day. Now, let me clarify something. I'm not concerned or worried about a rough day because I'm worried about what the market's going to do the next day.
And you worry about
and a lot of people,
emotions.
a lot of people think that
that's good clarification though, because it wasn't you stressed about what you're doing.
Chris is worried about our investments, or he's worried about the market.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that. I know what I'm doing long term. I know what my clients are doing long term. I'm worried about how many phone calls and how many people I'm going to have to talk off the ledge that are emotionally distressed by what happened the previous
Literally
night.
talk off the ledge.
They want to bail out. They want to quit. They want all their money out. And you're expecting lots of those phone calls, lots of hand holding the next day. So obviously I went to bed. The opposite of you guys. You guys went to bed with a big smile on your face, and I was gritting my teeth.
Yeah, we're one of the few industries that when the stock market tanks, we're like, yay!
Winners.
Sorry, Chris.
We're going to make lots of money tomorrow. Except that your portfolio.
But we're long-term, so it doesn't, I don't even look at it.
Good for you.
I don't look at it.
That's why I don't get your phone call.
Yes, no, I trust you.
So, but when I woke up, the Dow was down 200 points. Okay. And by the end of the day, the Dow was up, close to 300 points or something along those lines. So massive swing the other direction. Nobody saw it coming. Now, what's funny about that is that the phone calls still came. Some who didn't see the swing in the market and still thought the market was doing terrible because they're at work and they're not paying attention and they want to know if they should get out or what they should do differently. Then you get phone calls from people that want to all of a sudden buy a bunch of stuff because they wanted Trump to win and now they want to
pro growth.
Yeah, they're excited and they want to start throwing money and doubling down. Then you get the people that didn't want Trump to be elected and they want to know if they should just cash out and move to Canada, which it's crazy. But I honestly got several of those phone calls of people that really wanted all out and they wanted to move.
And all your answer could be is A?
They thought the end of the world was coming.
I heard Canada's building a wall to hold back illegal Americans.
And we're paying for it?
Yeah. And we're paying for it.
So, yes, so there was still some hand holding that went on, and but it turned out. Look at this rally. I mean, the market has rallied in an incredible way. There was some huge what we call sector rotation that took place, and I actually was having a lot of fun the couple of days after the election because I was watching what's called a heat map, and a heat map on the S&P 500 shows all the stocks on the S&P 500, and there's different colors and boxes for each of the different stocks within the S&P 500. Green being up, red being down, and different shades on how much they were up and down. And what was interesting to me was watching money come out of sectors that were no longer in favor or people were maybe overweight expecting Hillary to win, and money flowing to other areas like financials and industrials and things like this that Trump was pro and now the money was switching. So even though the market was up 300 points by the end of the day on the Dow, tech stocks got beat up pretty good, and there were some areas that did not do very well that day following the election. So it was interesting to see money moving to different sectors based on investors moving their chips around the table and deciding where they wanted to be invested going forward now that Trump was the president. So it was very interesting. The rally's been great. Now the question that I'm hearing everybody ask, I would just watch one of the talking heads earlier today on TV saying, this rally can't continue. It has to come to an end. It's gone too far, too fast. But when you look at things like GDP, consumer confidence, some of the other
housing market,
some of the bond market that is collapsing out from underneath us, that has money flowing out of the bond market and into the stock market. There's a lot of things that point to a stock market that could continue to do pretty well, especially seasonality. You call it the Trump effect, but this is the Santa Claus rally is a very real thing. The end of the year.
We're right around the corner right now.
Yeah.
It's already started, right?
Money managers are moving money around in their portfolio, trying to make it look pretty by the end of the year. Some fund managers are maybe underperforming for the year, and they're trying to catch up at the end of the year. So there's a lot of activity that goes into the end of the year, and so we get this Santa Claus rally typically, and it could continue through the end of the year. Now, when the Fed raises rates and what ends up happening going into the new year.
Notice that when.
Yeah. No, it's going
Not
to happen.
If.
It's
when.
Well, it's going to happen December.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think December is pretty much a lock.
And believe it or not, what's amazing is a lot of
question-
us, it does affect our short-term interest rates, but it's actually going to be a great thing for our economy because you have to control inflation down the road.
Well, and don't you think the market has somewhat priced in the December rate hike at this point? So I don't think the market reacts the way it did from the December rate hike a year ago.
No.
Because that one wasn't baked in quite like this one is. The question becomes is do they throw another quarter point in there rather quickly, which is what they say they're going to do, but they haven't stuck to anything they've said for so long.
I don't think they can with the they got to see what happens with Trump.
Yeah, and see what happens with that first rate hike and see how things go a little while. So
I actually think they have been increasing at a nice moderate pace that hasn't killed the economy. I think congratulations to the Fed for with not a lot of experience, because it's not a very experienced Fed, just kind of stumbling along and doing okay.
All right, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to cut you off because
I had so much more to say.
I know.
So
I
then,
know.
okay.
Well,
so,
if
so
you want
let's
more
head
to
back.
say, then go reach out to Chris. He'll tell you more. But he's a great resource for you. You can tell he stays calm, cool, and collected. Honestly, while we were watching these swings, Gino and I didn't even look at our portfolios. It wasn't other than to see once in a while we see where it's at. But it's a long-term investment. We know Chris has got our back. We meet with him on a regular basis. He keeps us informed. And it's not just a crapshoot. Plus, it keeps us engaged. It makes us want to invest more because we got somebody to play the stock market with. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mentioned it earlier. We were not afraid of the election. We did good. We increased our positions, and we've done very well.
We
so
placed
far.
some trades on election day before we knew the results. Yeah. So
all right. Well, reach out to Chris. How can they get a hold of you, Chris?
I go to my website. It's the best way to find all of my information. It's ingramfinancialsolutions.com.
Period. IngramFinancialSolutions.com. Thank you for being a great part of our group.
You're welcome.
And part of America's Professional Resource Group, our show. Go to aprgi.com to find out more. And lastly, go to don&gino.com. Thanks for being part of our show. Have a great holiday weekend. Be safe, be happy, give hugs, and enjoy the holidays. And
that's all being good humans, isn't it?
There you go.